The Lincoln Line, a century of silent unravelling. Behind the enduring legend of Abraham Lincoln lies a forgotten family saga marked by profound tragedy, public scandal, and a surprising, quiet extinction. This report investigates how the revered president's direct descendants, from his only surviving son to his great-grandchildren, navigated immense pressure, personal turmoil, and ultimately, a lineage that vanished without a recognized heir. Robert Todd Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's sole surviving son, inherited an immense and often suffocating legacy. Despite a distinguished career as a lawyer and as Secretary of War, the shadow of his iconic father loomed large. This pressure culminated in 1875 with a decision that would send shock waves through the nation. He initiated the commitment of his mother, Mary Todd Lincoln, to a mental institution. Citing her erratic behavior and deep-seated paranoia, Robert's actions were seen by many as cold and self-serving, sparking a national scandal. Mary Todd Lincoln, in turn, denounced her son, forging a deep, public familial rift that would define their relationship and cast a long, unsettling shadow over the revered Lincoln name. Abraham Lincoln II, known affectionately as Jack, had emerged as the singular beacon of hope for a lineage already shadowed by profound loss. Born August 14, 1873, he was Robert Todd Lincoln's only son and the sole male descendant to carry the president's name. Intelligent, kind, and precociously fluent in French by age 15, Jack was diligently cultivated for a future of national significance. However, this promising trajectory was brutally cut short. In 1890, while studying in Paris, a sudden jaw infection rapidly escalated into sepsis, claiming his life at just 16 years old. His untimely death in a foreign land was a catastrophic blow, shattering Robert's fervent hope for a lasting male Lincoln bloodline and profoundly altering the family's future direction. The burden of carrying the revered name now fell unexpectedly to his sisters. Jessie Harland Lincoln, Robert Todd Lincoln's youngest daughter, carved a path sharply divergent from her family's esteemed legacy. Born in 1875, her independent spirit manifested in 1897, when she defied both societal expectations and her father's explicit disapproval by eloping with Warren Wallace Beckwith, a semi-pro. Her father, furious, famously dismissed Beckwith as a baseball idiot refusing to attend the Milwaukee wedding. This rebellious act, turning into a press sensation, solidified Jessie's alienation from the traditional Lincoln reputation. Her life, marked by 2 subsequent divorces and further marriages, remained restless, her personal choices consistently placing her distant from the family's wealth and established name. While other branches of Abraham Lincoln's descendants grappled with public scandal and personal strife, a different fate befell Mary Mae Lincoln, Robert Todd Lincoln's eldest daughter. Born October 15, 1869, Mamie chose a life of deliberate privacy, far removed from the pressures of her lineage. In 1891, she quietly married New York lawyer Charles Bradford Isham. Their only child, Lincoln Isham, born a year later, continued this pattern of intense discretion. He remained a solitary figure throughout his life, never marrying nor producing heirs. By his death in 1971, this direct branch of the Lincoln family concluded not with the dramatic unraveling seen elsewhere, but in profound, almost unnoticed obscurity. Mary Peggy Lincoln Beckwith, Abraham Lincoln's great-granddaughter, embodied the family's curious unravelling. Living in eccentric solitude at Hilden, her Vermont estate, she cultivated a life in stark contrast to her lineage. Locals often observed her in overalls, flying her small planes or accompanied by exotic pets, a public spectacle that underscored her determined privacy. "Why should anyone care about old junk from the attic?" she once reportedly quipped, dismissively rejecting her profound ancestry. She never married nor bore children. Upon her death in 1975, the ultimate act of detachment unfolded. The majority of her substantial estate bypassed family entirely, bequeathed instead to the Church of Christian Science, thereby delivering. Robert Todd Lincoln Beckwith, born in 1904, carried the immense, yet largely unacknowledged, weight of the Lincoln name. As the last undisputed male descendant of Abraham Lincoln, his life was not one of public spectacle, but rather a quiet existence as a gentleman farmer, far removed from the political storms that defined his great-grandfather. Despite 3 marriages, to Hazel Holland, Anne-Marie Hoffman and Margaret Fristow, Beckwith produced no legitimate children. His death on December 24, 1985 in Virginia marked an understated yet profoundly significant end. The recognized Lincoln bloodline, after generations of quiet erosion, concluded not with scandal or dramatic collapse, but in a profound and echoing silence, a stark contrast to the thunderous legacy it once promised. The unravelling lineage of Abraham Lincoln took another enigmatic turn with Timothy Lincoln Beckwith, born in 1968 to Robert Todd Lincoln Beckwith's second wife, Anne-Marie Hoffman. Robert adamantly denied paternity, asserting he had undergone a vasectomy years prior. A court, after careful deliberation, ultimately sided with Robert, ruling against his biological connection to Timothy. Yet the saga did not end there. Following Robert's death in 1985, charities designated in his will, fearing a costly public estate challenge, quietly offered Timothy a substantial $1 million settlement. He accepted, silencing any potential legal battle but cementing the permanent mystery surrounding his true place within the illustrious, yet fractured, Lincoln bloodline. In the 1920s, Robert Todd Lincoln, acutely aware of his daughter's disparate temperaments, established substantial trust funds. While his eldest, Mary, received $123,000, Jessie was granted $186,000, a larger sum accompanied by tighter controls due to her father's perception of her impulsivity. Despite this inherited wealth, peace remained elusive for Jessie. Her life, marked by 3 marriages, 2 children, and constant relocation, continued its chaotic trajectory. Following the deaths of her children and grandchildren, these once generous provisions transformed into a protracted legal quagmire. Charities, banks, and religious institutions waged years-long battles over the remnants, reducing Abraham Lincoln's noble legacy to a bitter spectacle of probate filings and estate disputes. When Mary Beckwith, the eccentric great-granddaughter, passed in 1975, the Lincoln family estate Hilden met a precipitous fate. Bequeathed to the Church of Christian Science, the 400-acre Vermont property and its historic mansion languished, falling into severe disrepair, a stark physical manifestation of the family's crumbling legacy. Decades later, a dedicated non-profit stepped in, meticulously restoring the iconic home. now a poignant public reminder of a vanished lineage. Yet, in an unexpected twist, a thread of the Lincoln story found a modern echo. Actor Tom Hanks, a documented sixth cousin, 4 times removed, through Lincoln's maternal side, acknowledging this distant, resonant connection. The legend, it seems, endures, even as its direct bloodline faded to silence.